story.
Best known for a speech on gun control delivered at a city council meeting, a speech that went viral. Mark Robinson suddenly finds himself as the star of an unlikely story. When I suggested his story might make a good movie of the week, Mark Robinson told me there isn't a scriptwriter in Hollywood who could make people believe his story.
I cannot believe that I'm sitting here now running for lieutenant governor of North Carolina. 2.5 years ago, I was working in a factory and working on a bachelor's degree in history.
Robinson became the darling of conservatives when his rant protesting plans to cancel a Greensboro gun show went viral.
It seems like every time we have one of these shootings, nobody wants to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. You want to put it at my feet. You want to turn around and restrict my right, constitutional right that's spelled out in black and white. You want to restrict my right to buy a firearm and protect myself.
He started traveling across the country, speaking out on gun control, and even joined the NRA's board of directors.
I like to tell people all the time, I'm just an average, ordinary guy. I was a factory worker, a college student, a father, a husband, a grandfather, and all it took for me was to take a stand politically. And now here I am taking a stand statewide and really on a national stage.
Robinson says and often writes what he thinks, which can sometimes get politicians in trouble. He's posted anti-LGBTQ messages on his Facebook page. For example, quote, "These devil-worshipping child molesters will not stop until they can legally abuse God's most precious gift to us." Do you believe that the gay community is involved in child molestation?
Absolutely not. I do not believe that. I do not believe that children should ever be around homosexuality unless they are the parents, the children of homosexual parents. There's no reason why my children or anyone else's children should have to sit into a classroom or sit in any setting where they are greeted with the adult proposition of homosexuality or transgenderism.
That's not Robinson's only concern when it comes to children. You mentioned on your, I think it's your website or on your Facebook, that you want to end indoctrination in schools, and I'm wondering what you mean by that.
We shouldn't be force-feeding children information on how to think about the people in office. We should be teaching them how the folks in office are supposed to operate. They're being fed, no offense to CNN as an organization. They're a news organization that a lot of people watch. But my personal opinion is that CNN has no place in the classroom. I think that's the one thing that sets me and my opponent apart more than anything, is that she's a career politician and I'm just an average, ordinary citizen patriot.
Is experience not a good thing anymore?
I don't think so. I think people are tired of political experience. They want citizenship experience. People who know what it's like to walk in the shoes of average North Carolinians. And believe me, I know what it's like to walk in the shoes of an average North Carolinian.
Although Robinson made a name for himself as a gun rights activist, he says his number one priority is abortion and protecting the lives of the unborn. Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.